Listen to that shit. What's up? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Unveil Your Cloud. My name is Kashawn Chadwick, and today we have a special guest once again. Good to have you back to Unveil Your Cloud. Torian Koonce, also known as Toe. We've been doing some catching up lately. Last time I spoke to you was February?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Something like
How'd that experience go for you, man? I had an adventure with you, man.
Yeah, man, we had a real good time. A lot of people don't know, all that I do, and it was good that you got to catch that. And we traveled 9 hours away.
Yeah,
and we saw some stuff.
I did,
and it was a different culture.
I didn't see none of us.
It
wasn't too many African American people there,
right?
That's for sure.
Yeah, and you got to see, the creativity that I got in all that I do in the writings and the crowds I'm trying to reach. Mm-hmm. It is not all about just I'm pointing at one specific type of people or race or culture.
Right.
I'm writing this to bring awareness to that. I feel this nation has got away from reading and writing.
Right.
And I'm bringing that back to the table as, we need to start back reading books again,
Okay. So speaking of books, we have a new book, Pagan Culture in the Church.
Right.
This one right here. Where will this be available at? This one right here. I'm so sorry.
It's on the same platform. You can reach me, or you can go to Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. But I'll be here June 22nd at Royal Cuts at 1:00 doing signings and autograph signings for the book.
Okay. So, pagan culture in the church. What inspired that? I know we had a lot of things going on in Kentucky with the conversation building awareness. However, I think this may be the segue to the book now that I'm looking at it and I read a little bit of it.
Right.
So, what exactly where are you trying to go here?
Well, I never been afraid of going into other people's culture to see how they think, and because I've noticed that other people try to go into our culture as our culture, and they learn a lot from our culture. And I feel like I just wanted to go into their culture to see how they think about how they address things and different issues, and I learned a lot from them about how they actually view us.
What did you get? How do they view us, in your opinion?
They don't view us as bad.
Right.
But if you're in an environment and there's actually seeing bad, then they attach it to us.
Right. I mean, with how many people, like I said, there was not.
Right.
Man, I think one of the times I had to ask the man, hey, man, should I bring my gun? I wasn't sure how that was going to go. But, however, if all you see all the time is on the news of black people doing ignorant things or absurd things. I mean, the media doesn't portray us good at all.
Right.
Even though we make the culture.
Right.
If that's all you see, I'd imagine you'd attach it every single time.
Right.
Just like Asians. A lot of people say Asians are either good at math and they're horrible at driving.
Right.
Sometimes, man, them stereotypes don't be wrong, but maybe they shouldn't be just that.
Right.
And I think when they seen somebody like me, seen somebody like you, we got tattoos. You know what I'm saying? We're not. We look the stereotypical part.
Right.
However, we don't carry ourselves that way.
Right.
And I think after they kind of seen that, it was open arms after that.
Right. Right. Like sometimes we when you're doing that, you can give too much credit to some things and not enough credit to other things. Like I ain't gonna say I ain't gonna name the radio station. I'm just gonna say a radio station. I was invited to come on the radio station and talk about the book, and so not and they was talking about how they are for the community and different things like that, for the black community, and I didn't agree with it. I just didn't agree with it, and we got into this dialogue of why I don't agree with it, and I felt like if if I'm for the community and I'm doing something positive for the community, I feel like I shouldn't have to pay for advertising. And they was like, well, it's a business and advertising is a part of the business. And I was like, what they got to do with if I'm doing something positive? And he was like, well, let me understand it. I said, okay, I'm the same person. I'm the same person, right? If I do something evil like kill a cop, right?
Free press.
Free press, free advertising.
Free press.
Right. So
sure.
It seems to me that this radio station, if I do something evil, I get free promotion. I get on the radio station for free. But if I do something good for the community, I have to pay for it.
Right.
So I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right, and I think that needs to be addressed, and for we can have more exposure for the a lot of the younger people doing a lot of great things in this community, but you have to pay for it. But if they can do something real crazy, they'll be all over the radio station, probably 3-4 times a day.
Right.
And there's nothing I see positive in your promoting of saying you're for the community when they can do something evil, you can promotion for free, but if they do something good, you got to pay for it.
So how can we shift that? How do we shift that?
I really don't have a solution for it. I just can speak on what I see.
Right.
And this is something that I see. It ain't like I'm saying, hey, man, you need to do this about that or do that about that. It's just something that I see, and I'm advocating now that we bring more awareness to reading, but we got to start somewhere. And I think things like the radio station and TV, news media and things like that need to bring more awareness without having to put a price tag on everything. If you're doing something good, it shouldn't have to come with a price tag, because if I do something evil, it doesn't come with a price tag.
So let's bring this back though, right? Mm-hmm. So you're saying that you want to spread awareness and also get us back to these pages right here, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't see nothing wrong with that. However, there's an old saying that if you want to hide, I know I'm paraphrasing.
Right.
If you want to hide gems from the black man, put it in a book.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, it's unpopular opinion, but they're not necessarily wrong, Toe.
I know.
They're not necessarily wrong. If you think about Jet Magazine, right? They had to make it in the size books that you have right here.
Right.
Just for African Americans to pick up that and read it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this thing called media that we're on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're in 2024, do you still think that the book is the way to go? Do you still think that, or do you think that we can make these things and put all these gems and have it in your phone at all times?
I think this is like the foundation.
It is.
Books was like the foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we got away from it, and with, the social media and all the other, as knowledge increased a little bit, we got away from the foundation of what got us this far. And, our ancestors come a long way just to learn how to read,
Yes.
to actually reading, and actually then they got to writing books. And it seems like we're going away from it, and I feel like, I don't know if the schools are doing it or the kids just don't want to do it, but lately we are seeing some young writers. It's a young writer from New Bern. I think he's been in the Guinness Books of Records or something. He's the youngest ever write a book or something, and it's real good. I like to see that. And there's another young lady here. She wrote a book too. So we got a lot of talent that's getting back to writing books and reading again. And I feel like it's vital that our community, if no one else, we learn how to really get back to reading. If it's like you said, in the phone or whatever form. But I feel like also we should, other than picking up a basketball or being a rapper or none of that, you can write books, write stories. People like good stories.
I believe in that. I definitely believe in that. I mean, by all means, I'm more than just dribbling a damn ball. However, and then I'm more than rhymes and
Right.
things like that. However, I mean, this is how we digest. Like in the school system, my son don't bring back no Hope books. You remember Hope books?
I know,
We
right?
we don't really have that. So like, he brings home an iPad or he brings home a computer. So I think reading, I'm not gonna lie to you, even you sent me the transcript of the book.
Mm-hmm.
I had my phone read it to me.
Oh
You
man.
see what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I had my phone read it to me because I had this much of a gap from when you sent it to me to
Mm-hmm.
when we're doing this here. I had to have it read it to me just to come up with these questions.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just something to think about. I would really suggest that let's come up with some audiobooks.
Yeah.
We need some audiobooks.
Yeah. My sister was telling me.
We're on the fly today, man.
I know,
we
right?
really are. We really, really are. So, to this pagan culture, what does pagan culture mean to you? What is a pagan church exactly?
It's just one that to me, I feel like a pagan culture church is one that's just following the culture of the world rather than heavenly culture. It's more concerned about the people and the culture outside of what's really heavenly. So a lot of the traditions and rituals and customs they got is more pagan than heavenly.
Okay.
And by this being so, our nation is becoming a reflection of really how the church is. When you see the nation is a reflection of the church because the church is taking on the culture of how the nation is. And I'm bringing awareness to it too, because nobody really want to address all the negative culture that's in the church. I never have said, even in my first book, in this book, and I got another book coming out in September or December, that the church is wrong. I never say the church is wrong. I do say it's incomplete. It's incomplete in a lot of ways. And by being incomplete, it has compromised itself to take on a lot of culture and things that's not right.
So okay, so give me an example of that, right? What is so are you saying that the church is taking on culture and blending it?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of how a lot of people have done secular music,
Right.
mixing it with church? Is that the analogy I'm hearing?
Not like that. I wouldn't say it that way.
Okay.
Put it this way. I feel like every church has some form of violation. It's doing something wrong.
It's man-made.
Right. But I'm just saying this in my opinion. I don't think God really, points the finger and says the church is wrong, you're wrong just because you have a violation. It's the celebration of the violations that causes the smoke to come out of his nostrils. It's not just if you got a violation. It's how they take on these cultures and celebrate them. They celebrate these cultures and take them on knowing they're wrong. And it's causing it to be incomplete. That's what makes it incomplete. It's not wrong about gathering the people together for worship. And that's not wrong. But the celebration of violations is wrong.
Well, yeah, you don't want to reward bad behavior. However, give me an example. I want to be able to understand. I want the viewers to be able to understand exactly what violations are being celebrated. What have you seen that's been a violation and people have celebrated it? I need a clear answer of that. Seriously. I mean, you might have to call somebody out, but I need to know.
If I feel I'm not gonna point nothing at no particular thing, but I feel like this. Then, if with the type of things that y'all letting go, why do you have to stop the man at the door if he coming in trying to smoke weed? If you're saying we don't condone that type of seeing in the building or that type of stuff, or
Mm-hmm.
the man tried to bring a 40 ounce in.
Mm-hmm.
You'll say we don't condone that, right?
Right.
But if two men come in holding hands, y'all can sit down with each other. I don't see no difference than the guy trying to bring her 40 ounce in than two people coming
No
in.
sin is greater than the other. They
Right.
should all be treated the same.
Treated the same.
Okay, and a lot of people, I'll say it. He ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna say it because I'll say it. I'll say it. So what you're saying is, how can I word this correctly? They have allowed a lot of gay people to come into church. Like,
It's not.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and we may not be specifically talking about that.
Right.
It's all of it.
Right.
It's all of it.
It's all of it. Oh, let's take it. Okay.
But that is a big thing. It's Pride Month.
It's Pride Month.
It's Pride Month.
And I got family members,
Mm-hmm.
that's however they are. I don't point my finger at no one. I'm friends with everyone. But when it comes to if you're saying what you're allowing to come in is one thing, but what you're celebrating is a different thing. I feel like that's a different thing. Like you can allow them to come in. I don't have no problem with that. But the thing is the celebration of the violation. That's where I feel
I can't
it's
kill a
going
man
too
and
far.
hold his head up and be like, I did this and it's okay.
Yeah, it's just they're going too far of it.
Okay, so do you mind if we have a conversation that has nothing to do with the book? I just need to know it's not to violate you. It's not to violate me. It's just this question has been popping up, whether it be in my relationship, whether it be with family, whether it be with friends. I've had a conversation of, if you could pick which one of your kids, son or girl, would be gay, which one would it be? I'm not going to ask you that question. What I am going to ask you is, do you feel being gay is a choice? Let's have a real conversation. If you want to, if you can with me, just to trade off opinions here.
I feel everything is a choice. Even love. People think that love is an emotion, but it's a decision. It's a decision you make to do that.
I completely agree with you on that. On the love part, I completely agree with you on that.
So when you come to other decisions, we're born in a spiritual condition that causes us to gravitate to do wrong and react to wrong emotions and feelings. Mm-hmm. And we choose to do it. But it's a way you can rise above bad choices. I'm not complete. You're not complete. But it's a lot of things that we have rose above. And some people have different challenges that they have to rise above. Everybody's challenge is not the same. Mm-hmm. But in the end, you must still rise above whatever it is that you're battling with. All days. Before I continue, man, I lost a friend today, man. I want to say rest out to Dante, man. Dante Ray, man, he was real cool, but all days is full of trouble, man. Mm-hmm. But life is how you handle the trouble.
Okay.
Each day is full of trouble. Each day, some type of trouble coming to you, either an argument or your own battles of what you're trying to get over or get by or struggle with. A phone call here, your boss at work. It's gonna be some type of trouble. Mm. But the life part. The days is already coming with trouble. Life is how you handle the trouble. So we make choices. Sometimes the things we said we couldn't have seen. Always man, I shouldn't have said that. Sometimes you take it back. You be like, man, I could have handled that a little bit better.
Okay.
So
it is thing, and I'll say this. Mm-hmm. I'll say this. And again, it's just an opinion. We have an opinions. We're allowed to have them.
Right.
When having this conversation on who I would want to choose, mm-hmm. whether that be my son or my daughter.
Right.
When it comes to our daughters, it's a lot more accepted.
Right.
It's a lot more accepted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, even fetishized.
Right.
I'm black.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's a strike.
Right.
I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's a strike. I have a hard time believing anybody would choose to live that lifestyle, how hard that shit is.
Right.
To be a black gay man, I can't fathom wanting that. Why would you want that in this world, knowing you're going to be screwed? You're going to be screwed. You're going to be ostracized. You're going to be minimized.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to be picked on, hurt, shit thrown at. You have to live with that. And on top of that, just in the black community, how we treat homosexuality.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time thinking that somebody would choose that struggle. Do they have to move forward with their actions? No, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, life will choose. You choose what you do with it.
Right.
Okay. Yes, I completely understand where you're coming from with that. Yes, I mean it's no different from me being attracted to this young lady right here. Let's just say we're married and I sit right here and I see another woman. I find her very attractive. You know what I'm saying? A whole Coca bottle. I can't go talk to her. It's a choice, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're saying. It's a choice. You can believe what you want to believe in, but you do have a choice whether you lean into it.
Right. I just believe in the biblical principle of it. That's why I don't agree with the celebration of it. I believe the woman was created for the man and the man for the woman. Okay. And it's like you can't get around that. If you make an island and put it full of man, there's no procreation with that. If you get a woman, an island, and they full of women, they're eventually gonna die off. There's no procreation, and I mean, there's nothing you can do with that. Mm-hmm. You know, so I believe in what the Bible says, that, you know, the woman was created for the man, and the man, you know, that's what that's for. Now, do I strike them down and say you're going, and, you know, no, I don't say that. I don't, you know, should you not meet them at the door and say you can't come in here? No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the celebration of it. You know, I'm just saying the celebration of it is like, I'm not just pointing at that. We're not just saying, hey, oh man, they just dragging. No, man, nah, it's more violations than just that. That's just one that we're choosing to speak on.
Yeah. And on top of that, I mean, all of y'all are definitely going to click on this when I say that it shouldn't be celebrated. Because I'm going to use it as clickbait. You're going to fall for it. So, yeah, no, we're definitely not on that period. We're just talking about the celebration of sin and how it should not happen regardless of the sin. All sins are equal, and it doesn't matter if you lying is no different from me killing somebody.
Right.
So I understand completely what you're saying. Right. That is exactly what we're saying. Please don't misconstrue.
Right.
But where else do you want to go? I'm so sorry I had to do that to you because it is Pride Month.
It's Pride Month.
And I have family members that are.
Hey, I got family.
So we had to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, you know. And like I said, man, I got family members, like real close family members. Mm-hmm. And they talk to me, you know. And they ask me questions, what I feel about certain things. And I just, you know, and I tell them, how you feel about certain things. And now a lot of things has been accepted more from when we was coming up. A lot of things wasn't accepted, and now it's just getting more accepted, and you got more, you know, groups and things like that come together to make it more acceptable. I'm not against none of that, but I'm saying when you go to church, there's a lot of things happening within all this. I mean, that you got to say, hold on, man, I don't think that's appropriate.
We lost our principle and we're scared to stand on it.
Right.
Do you see how that's hard today, though? I'm just saying it's really hard to. I mean, perfect example is what we just went through. I felt the tenseness.
Right.
I felt the tenseness. Like it's hard to have an opinion today without being quote unquote canceled or to be just shunned out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The closet is now on us.
Yeah.
No, all pun intended.
Hey, when we went to Kentucky, when we went to where we went, and I showed you that, we went into a church that was established in 1800. It was 1848.
Right, and you were speaking on how, just not too long ago, we couldn't have went in that church.
They told you that too.
Yeah, they did.
I believe I was the first. We was the first.
Yes.
To ever go into that church.
Mm-hmm.
So that community is still wrestling with things that in this community we feel we have got past. But it's, I was like shocked to see that they're still dealing with racism and different other things. And for me to be in that community and be accepted by another race and culture, it shows that, it's not all about what you think. That's because you're looking at them a certain way. I would have never thought they'd let me in there. I'm like, they ain't gonna let us in there.
Right.
But they did, and open arms, and they showed a lot of love, which would be on the documentary guy, and I just feel we should just do more of that in more communities other than just the black community. If we want all us to come to unite, it has to be a breaking of barriers on both sides. And we was on a side that we was like, wow, man, this is something,
That's true. That's true. And we'll go off of opinions. I do have a question after I make this statement, though, just to ask a question. Back in the day, we had come on, man, we in Duffyfield.
Mm-hmm.
We're in Duffyfield.
Right.
If you know, you know. We're in Duffyfield. We used to be able to keep the black dollar. Okay? We're the only race that the dollar leaves us like, what, I think 2 hours? I don't even think it's that. I'll fact check that, but we don't keep it long. I don't see nothing wrong with uniting. I see nothing wrong with that. However, I'd like us to be able to be exclusive to us again.
Man, that's beautiful.
Because at the end of the day, I believe that, other cultures, they're exclusive to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, even Mexicans do not like American Mexicans. Let's just be real. They don't. They don't.
Right.
I would personally like us to be exclusive again. I'd like us to be us for us.
Community-wise? Or
Community-wise. Like, I would love that because
like own restaurants, own everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, black owned, like I said, by us and for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm sorry. I don't. You're also talking to somebody who don't believe in marrying outside of his race. There's nothing wrong with uniting. However, right. I don't think we'll ever deem each other as equal. I don't believe that. I believe it's very far-fetched, and racism has gotten so underground. But it's right below the surface, man.
Yeah, man.
It's right below the surface. But you don't have to comment on that. You don't have to comment on that. I'm just going to go to some of this book. Is that cool with you?
I mean, I comment, man, because what you're saying is I would love to see the community. My grandma said this community was really locked in her day. It was in her day. And I seen remnants of it, residue of it. And she said it also was a lot of wickedness in this, New Bern. So they had to battle unity with wickedness, and that's a hard wrestle. Wrestle beyond what we probably can't even imagine. Because in this day, if somebody throw a rock at you and hit you across your head, you can pick up a gun, you can go back, you can do stuff. Back in her day, racism. You can, a lot of things was going on that they was getting away with. So unity was like it was best to be unified for the better of the culture and the people.
Mm-hmm.
But as time went on, we got away from that as we felt more freedom, and as living with no restrictions, feeling like that is you don't have principles, and you start leaning more on privileges, and a person that lean on privileges above principles, at some point you lose both, because you start seeing them privileges taken away from you, and then you don't have no principles to make you stand and fight for things that you say should be equal. You just lose both, and it becomes just the marches and just violence and things that they get away from it. They get away from what the real message is of unity. It seems like if a cop kill someone, a white cop kills someone, it's a big uproar.
Well, when a white cop kills somebody?
Yeah, it's a big uproar. But we kill each other. Like if we kill each other, like in this town, it's been my little cousin. She got shot in the head at 4 or 5 years old. It wasn't.
Yes, I know about that.
Right. It wasn't no big uproar about that.
No, it wasn't.
Why? I don't understand it. But if something else, if something would have happened where a cop kill a black guy or something, or like George Floyd or something similar with Martin, it's like a big uproar. But I feel like this little girl getting shot in the head at 4 or 5 years old,
right,
should be bigger or equal, at least equal. And I just see it wasn't no big thing about that. It came on news a couple times, talked about it, but nothing really. No really shaking of the trees.
It's crazy because I mean, if you're looking at the times, I don't know when Boys in the Hood came out, but at the end of that, you remember,
right.
Boy was like, "Man, they killed my brother. I ain't even seen it on the news yet." Not much has changed from then to now. Not much for us, really. It should be publicized at the end of the day, but I believe that all of it should. All of it should. You're right. It should be equal.
Mm-hmm.
It should be equal. I don't know. This is why Black Lives Matter is a thing. This is why Black Lives Matter is a thing. Even though that shit was a sham, we're not going to go over that. That shit was a sham. That shit was a sham. I call bullshit when I call bullshit.
Oh, man.
It was. But this is why that quote is there.
Right.
If we're speaking on the bare bones of that.
The bare bones of that.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Peter's confidence.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There was something I definitely want to mention in that book. You said that God's words must become addictive to truly love him. Right?
Mm-hmm.
How can believers cultivate this kind of addiction to the word of God?
Oh, man, it's tough. It's tough, man. It's really tough. It's a training. Like if you go into the military, well, that's one way you could look at it. But look at it this way. From the moment you're born, you go quick into this rigorous training. Okay. From the very moment you're born, everything is about training. Mm-hmm. Learn how to walk, learn how to talk, dad, mama. Then you go to potty training, right? You go to potty training. Then it's going into discipline them, stop, whining and doing certain things. Don't touch that. Everything is about training. Training. You're training them. Then you start going into rules. You start getting kids rules. Mm-hmm. I think you should still be training, as if, like, you take a police officer or a military guy. Like, take a police officer, when he goes to your car, if he see you do something illegal or something, he fall back on what he's trained to do. Right. Military the same way. They're going to fall back. Fire department, anybody's going to fall back on their training. We're raising kids with just rules. So when they're in certain situations, they only understand the rules that you gave them. And they're trying to get around those rules without getting caught. They don't have a real training to fall back on that becomes a habit. Because if you keep doing something over and over and over again, as the Bible is saying, it becomes a habit.
So repetition is the father of learning, is what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Repetitions of it.
So, I remember Pastor Stephen Furtick. You know who that is at all?
From Charlotte, right?
He has a church in Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's from Moncks Corner, South Carolina.
Okay.
He said for the people who are scared to open up the Bible or scared to just worship, he just said it straight up. Fake it until you make it. You're just going to have to keep coming until it becomes second language, second nature.
Mm-hmm.
So I get what you mean by that. I find it difficult. I fell off the boat a few times. Not going to lie to you.
And that's what happened with Peter. You can't be overconfident in what you're willing to not defeat you.
I don't think I'm overconfident with the situation. I just feel like,
say if it's something you say, I ain't gonna never do this again, right?
I've said that plenty of times.
Right, and you can have it, in your opinion, you can have it defeated.
Okay.
But don't get overconfident, because you can be so overconfident about it, and it's like going into a fight. You feel like, I can beat this guy I just think I could beat him. And you're overconfident and you get knocked out in the first round. Sometimes your overconfidence can lead to a defeat just because you're overconfident about something.
Yeah, it's no different from people who come home from prison, or you know, they get on probation.
Perfect example.
And they end up going into that same environment, or they end up hanging out with little Kiki and little Ray Ray and them over there.
Right.
You feel me? You can't expect to get into that environment and not get in trouble.
Let me
it's
share
the company
something.
You keep.
Right. I don't think it's really that about the company.
So you telling me 9 don't make 10? Come on, man.
It could. All right, but look at it this way. I got two old friends that came home from prison that work with me. Mm-hmm. Both of them, I ain't saying no names, got ankle monitors. They're on a strict thing and they're trying to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. All right, take it like this. You can come in this house and you can go. You can move your way around this house.
Right.
The only way you're able, but take your friend that came with you. She's not able to do that. The only reason you're able to do it is because you're familiar with the house. Mm-hmm. When you're familiar with something, you're able to go back into those type of things again because you're so familiar with it. And with me, even like when I done the time and came home, I was like, I don't need to go back there because I need to be in a space where I'm not familiar with nothing. I don't know nobody here that I can go over here. I don't know nobody over there. I can go over there.
Well, yeah, we're speaking the same language.
Right.
We're speaking the same language.
Right. It's the familiarity.
But I can't sit here and, have an addiction knowing damn well I was an alcoholic and be like, hey, one beer will do it. One beer. Yeah. Just one. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I'm seeing these guys, man, they're making great climbs, because they're really pulling away from things that they were familiar with. And that's when they ask me, how do you make it this far? And I tell them, man, it was just getting away from things I'm familiar with. I'm still the same person. I laugh and joke. You was with me, man.
Yeah.
And you see me in a different light, but at the same time, I can still be myself without being religious and without being strictly evil.
Right.
I let you be yourself. I don't be like, hey, man, don't be doing that. Don't be doing this right here. I let people be themselves. I feel like people could trust you more when they know that they can be they self around you. Mm. I don't want to be around nobody where I have to fake or be something like that.
Fake the funk.
Yeah, you want to be yourself. People, it's three type of people. I think it's three type of people in this world. You have your weak, wicked, and evil people.
You think that them the only three people?
I think that's the only.
Hold
That's
on,
it.
what is it again?
Weak,
Uh-huh.
wicked,
Uh-huh.
and evil.
What the hell are we?
The Bible says, right? I'm gonna tell you what the Bible says, right? If I'm gonna glory about anything, it's gonna be in the weakness, how weak we are as humans. I don't think you can make a bad decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it don't mean that you made it because you're wicked. You just made it because you was weak at that time. Let's say if you're trying to, I know a lot of females, this goes out to females, some of them be trying to say, you know what, I ain't gonna have sex until I get married or whatever, and they go out and they might meet a guy that they used to mess with, and they might do something. That don't mean they wicked. They made a decision. They done it because they was weak at the moment, and they made a decision that was wicked. But if you continue to make and stay in wickedness, now you're going into being evil, and you know it's been people.
Man, I'm
like,
about to call it on you, man. Yo, let me tell you something.
Right.
6. All right, look. What do you? Oh, when we get off this camera, I got some shit to say to you. So, what do you want to leave these viewers with? What do you want them to read?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want them to become religious in on what they're doing, meaning you just want them to be repetitive.
I think read more
Mm-hmm.
and stand on the truth. Don't be afraid to say, I'm not going to remain silent when I see a wrong, something that's wrong.
See something, say something.
Right, call it out. A lot of leaders that we have, I ain't gonna call them a lot of, I'm just saying leaders, they got a lot of power because congregations have so much silence. It's like, you be silent, I'm speaking and you be silent. And that shouldn't be. So
It's hard to talk today, Toe.
I know.
Toe, it's hard to talk today. It's hard to talk today. It's hard to talk today. I'm gonna get backlash for that gay comment, bro.
Of course.
I'm gonna get you. It's hard to have an opinion.
Right.
And I think next time we talk, we're gonna talk about that, and
Right.
we're gonna talk about having accountability partners, because at the end of the daggone day, if your friend is allowing you to live wicked, then that's not your friend.
Right.
Okay. So I think there's a deeper discussion that needs to be had about that, and the people, the company that you keep. I'm sorry, but 9. If you're around 9, you are 10.
Mm-hmm.
You are 10. If I'm the strong friend, what does that make you?
Right.
Okay.
I agree.
So I think regardless of not, find y'all some good damn friends.
Mm-hmm.
That's one.
Right.
Find y'all some good damn friends. You need good friends in your corner. Make sure that people are holding you accountable. If they're not holding you accountable, that's not love. Love corrects.
Right.
Okay? And also, don't be a damn pagan. But, is there anything else that you have to say?
I just look forward, man, to the documentary coming that we got coming. We got a lot of stuff coming.
Yes,
Me
it's
and
coming
you,
soon. A lot's in the tub.
right? And I just want people to understand that I'm not against the church. We're not against the church. We're not against anyone. We're all about love, and we all about correction. I feel like the black community, one of the worst enemies we got is we hate being corrected. We just hate being corrected.
Yeah.
And until that stops, we got a long journey, man, a long way to go, man. So my hope and prayer is for everybody. I hope you purchase the book and just keep me in your prayers as I keep going, because I'm not going to stop writing books. This is a journey I'm on. It started, you see 1, you see 2. Next time you see, it might be 3, then you're going to see 4, because I'm going to keep going. This is a journey that I've been on for a while now. And I'm also going to different cities and states. But when I make it back to North Carolina, I'm going to be more louder than I am now. Not loud as in noise, but loud in what I'm saying. Like how we was talking today, that was very loud. We talk loud today because we touched
Yeah.
on issues that a lot of people don't want to address. But we only saying it in his love form. And we're gonna get, pointed at it for it, but it's in his love form.
We will see how it goes. We
Right.
will. Discipline, ladies and gentlemen. Discipline, and make sure that you're staying on the right path. This is Unveil Your Cloud. My name is Kashawn Chadwick. This is Toe, and y'all stay blessed.
Amen. He tearing this nation apart.
Yeah,
He tearing it apart.
absolutely.